It's your boy Kemi. I got a request from one of the demo reviews I did for MrHands is the name on the YouTube video, Obadub is the name on Reddit. He wanted me to elaborate a little bit more on some of the points that I made during his video, so I'm going to do that right now, and I'm just going to take a minute to set up the server and get myself in the same game set that he was at when I said what I said, and I'll walk him through the way that I would have played it, rather than the way he played it. I stopped paying for my private server as soon as I left the team, so it's only going to let me do 3 nades rather than 4, like I can't give myself a smoke grenade here if I want to. It's just going to drop, so a little bit unfortunate. We're going to pretend, I'll call out when, actually let me drop this HE and pick up a smoke, and then I'll call out when my Molotov is representing an HE. So, MP warm up end, MP round time 6,000, 60,000, whatever.
Let's go, fellas.
MP freeze time 0, restart game 1, and round time's not MP round time diffuse. No, not deployment, diffuse 60, restart game 1.
Come on, come on, chop, chop.
So, sorry for the little bit of a shaky start. I just figured I'd talk through this server setup thing and talk about what he asked me, but I haven't done this in a while, so kind of need to remember all the binds, or remember all the console commands. So, anyway, now that that's out of the way, both of the times he asked me to go back over what I'd said, it was from a CT retake into A site, and I was telling him that he wasn't respecting angles, so I'm just going to show him how I would retake A site if I were in his position. And he said, how often do you respect angles counter to how often do you just go straight into where you heard the last call out from your teammates? And one of the things that he would do, I'm going to do what he did, is he would come up here and he would just come out, and he swung over to Trybox one time, but the thing that I really had an issue with was just coming out here, and his crosshair movement wasn't that clean. It was kind of like a little bit all over the place, not really looking at a short. So what I wanted to see from him, and it might have been a little bit nitpicky, but I wanted to see kind of a little bit of a shoulder onto the palace angle, then a little bit of a shoulder on this tight A short angle, maybe come out, clear a little bit more of a short, then you can go for your push. And that's what I meant by respecting angles. I don't know if the call out, it was a 3v4 or something, the game state when I said this, and I don't know the call out in matchmaking. Maybe they called that all 3 were A short, and so you didn't need to worry about the palace angle. But even then, what you should have done is you should have pre-aimed this A short angle. And it's just something you should know. When you're coming up, you know that your teammates have sight control because your teammates were like around here or around stairs or whatever, so you don't need to worry about all this. Just pre-aim this A short angle, and then as soon as you come out, that's what you're locked onto. And you push up in maximum cover like you would push out here, and you're just exposing yourself to too many angles. Keep this tight angle, then duck into Trybox and shoulder this a little bit. If you want to clear Tetris, come out like this, clear Tetris from here, and then you can pressure A short, as opposed to what you were doing. And then the second question you had for me was, how do I use my utility on a retake? So that's completely dependent on where I'm retaking from. Typically, if you have a kit, you want to retake from CT or jungle, just because it's the safest places to retake from. So if your teammates need that kit, they can rotate to it quickly. I like retaking from CT with the kit, just because if you go down, like back here in CT, the bombs, you're just closer to the bomb site, and so if your teammates need a kit, they can run right over and pick it up. Jungle's a little bit further away. Using utility from CT is a little bit rocky, especially in matchmaking, because it's all about supporting your teammates. Like, you can lob this firebox molly, obviously, but okay, that was a little bit shaky of a firebox molly. I haven't played much CS. I've been playing Overwatch and TF2. So anyway, a lot of the stuff you're going to be doing is going to be for your teammates. You're going to be lobbing flashes over for your team on the retake, maybe a pop flash for yourself right here, and then you can swing out. But that's what you're going to be doing with your utility from CT. One of the things you can do is lob an A short smoke if you know that they're A short. You've still got your smoke left over. That's a big angle. Alright, it didn't go further enough. See previous comment about not playing enough CS recently, but that's one of the things you can do. If you're retaking from jungle, Respecting the angles would be respect this angle because they can be a little bit cheeky and take the peek on top of Tetris. Then respect the shadow angle, respect the palace angle, respect a little bit of the default angle because you can spot a couple of pixels ahead over here. And then for your utility, obviously firebox molly all day. Palace smoke is your best friend because neutralizing the palace threat is huge for an A retake. Shadow molly, if you know that there's a guy under shadow and there's not a guy firebox or something like that, just force him out. And yeah, that's basically it. And then stairs is all about the firebox molly and the palace smoke. And pop a flash for your team on the take like that. Okay, don't turn that early. See earlier comment, but a lot you can do with the utility, and if I'm retaking A, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So from connector, you just go straight to the stairs. One of the things that a lot of people don't know is on top of this box, you can spot out heads. I'm just going through tips and tricks at this point, but think about maximizing your potential on the retake. And every time you did it, they didn't have full sight control, and so not really a crucial thing. But you did say to me in your comment that you wanted to know how I use utility on a retake, so that's how I do it on A. And I think that answers both of your primary questions. I'll show you retake nades for the B. Coming from catwalk, utility's a little bit rocky again. You gotta clear out these angles. Respect this angle. You got a little bit of a high-low, so it's not too good. When you're coming up, respect the bench angle. Come out, come creeping. Clear close. Maybe pop yourself a flash right here if you know that close is a little bit of a risk and come out pre-aiming that angle. Yeah, B's a little bit tougher with the utility. It's a lot more, the utility comes from market, so if you have a good nade set, you're most useful to your team in market, because you can just pop this flash out, or you can pop smokes in front of bench, so you can get your catwalk player a little bit of a cleaner push up. Pop a smoke right in front of sight if you know the van's going to be a problem. You've got a HE or a molly right in the van right there, so yeah, just maximize the potential. Think about where people normally play. Think about if you're a terrorist and your post plan, you're letting the bomb default, where do you head? You head to bench, you head get right, head to that little cubby, you head to van, right? And so you know that they're probably going to be playing a cheeky little angle like this, trying to take pot shots at cat if they're greedy. Maybe they'll be here, they'll be lobbing this pop flash. If they're hyper aggressive, they'll swing out, try to take this alley if they know you're coming out. So just use your utility to minimize their potential and force them into awkward situations. And that's what the molly is so useful for. It's why a lot of professionals, when CSGO was in its earlier iterations, wanted the molly to be removed or nerfed because it was too good at forcing people out of their comfort zone. So those are the primary questions. Give me a minute. I'm going to alt-tab. I should have read your question more thoroughly, but I'm going to alt-tab and I'm going to finish reading. As far as utility goes, find some YouTube videos in general. Yeah, I didn't really cover when I prefer respecting angles to when I prefer the call. I think I talked about it a little bit early on. It's just you always, unless the entire enemy team is accounted for, and one of the guys on my team had a problem with calling when there was a big hit, like 4 players, 3 or 4 terrorists were coming in, he'd have a big problem with calling all A short, and then all of a sudden we're coming out here, we're looking at A short, and then I'm taking a confident angle. I can take this angle. If I'm trying to hold A short, maybe I'll take a little bit of a cheeky angle like this off angle right here. No one expects this off angle, and then all of a sudden I'm getting punished from Palace, or I'm completely dedicated to A short and something happens to me at connector. So when the call is all, or they say 3A short and there's only 3 left, then obviously that's the only angle you got to worry about. But anytime there are players unaccounted for, just know that you got to respect these angles, and I really recommend pre-aiming it and then making sure you're not exposed to them. Like, if you don't have to worry about Palace because you got a guy stairs, but you still have to worry about connector, maybe take this angle and see if you can take a fight A short, or do this off angle, or just stay in CT, and yeah, just worry about A short from here. So that's basically what I meant when I said respect the angles, and hopefully the utility that I showed you is helpful. If it's not helpful, if it's it might have been a little bit too basic, but that's all it is. Just use it as intelligently as you can. And if it seems basic, the reason that people are always throwing these are because they're exactly what works. They're what needs to happen. So yeah, that's about it. I'm just reiterating the same point over and over again. So I'm going to stop the video here. Thanks for your submission, and I'll upload this and respond to you.